Welcome to This Day. It is Saturday, April 10th. On our show today, we sat down with Carolyn Einman, who is on behalf of the Southern Orange County Community College District. And she's just got a lot of great information to talk all about her area and emeritus and all the great things that she's doing on behalf of seniors. And then we met, or revisited, as you may know, with Rabbi Joe, who is a resident here in Laguna Woods Village, and he is now going to be taking over the position of the main rabbi for the Reform Temple. So we are going to find out all about his style and some things that he wants to do with the Reform Temple. All right, now if you would like to be vaccinated, we have a variety of areas that you can contact. For instance, you can be vaccinated at any of the 4 points of distribution via othena.com, so you will register there. You could go to riteaid.com/COVID-19, cvs.com or 1-800-SHOP-CVS, and then you can contact the El Toro Pharmacy at 949-859-4440. Our weather is looking nice for today. We did start out with a little fog this morning, but then we are going to warm up to a very pleasant 70, 75, 52, and a nice tomorrow, 71, 52, and then cooling down on Monday, 69, 54. And if you are traveling in California, either Northern or Southern California, our beaches are looking at 66, 54, Santa Barbara, 72, 53, San Diego, 70, 56, and the High Sierras are 60 and 30, Big Bear 66, 33, and Mammoth 59, 27, and Palm Springs 95, 66. So looking very nice. Our sunrise this morning was at 6:26, and our sunset will be at 7:18. And Alan, thank you so much for finding another beautiful tree. We only have 35,000 trees here in the area, so thank you for capturing a very beautiful pink one. If you would like to share a photo with our community, please email it to lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. When we return, we're going to have the Southern Orange County Community College District, so stay tuned.
I'm very concerned that patients with stroke, heart attack, sepsis, or other medical emergencies are delaying care. Let me reassure you, it is safe and critically important that you do not ignore the signs and symptoms such as chest discomfort, shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, or sudden onset of headache. If you think you may be having a medical emergency, don't wait, call 911 or go to your nearest emergency room.
Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Carolyn Inman, who is here on behalf of the South Orange County Community College District. Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
You know, we've had a few different interviews with many different trustees, and you had mentioned Marcia, and she is always extremely excited to, I think she's just excited in general, right? And she's a tough act to follow. However, I can tell that you're very excited about telling us some information, and you're new. So can you tell me just a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a native Californian. I was educated in the public schools of California, almost all the way through. That included El Camino Junior College, it was called at the time, and then UCLA and Cal State Northridge and so forth. So I then became a teacher, and I did that teaching or at the end more of educational leadership, but I did that for 40 years. So school has been my life, and that's fine with me. I love students. I love teachers. I like the whole school setting.
Oh, well, this is the perfect spot for you then. Do you find that the majority of people who end up in this kind of position have been from that same background?
Not really, although two others on this board are from that background. They were more administrators, but I think they started as teachers. The one difference with me and them is that I taught almost every grade from kindergarten at El Toro Marine School to community college. Wow. So it's kind of, I never set out to do that. I think I'll teach all the grades, but it worked out that way. So I have a vast knowledge of where people are coming from, where they're going, all that sort of thing, which I think can be helpful.
Oh, I agree. I mean, it's nice as a teacher, you were able to go through all of that, because then, when you teach the younger ones, you're teaching them something so much different than you're teaching the older ones. Although many times you may have wished you were teaching the younger ones and vice versa.
And there were times where you thought of a different level, but I liked them all. I actually did.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So in your current position, what is it that this area covers?
You mean the whole area of the?
Yeah. So including parts of, you're a trustee for which areas?
Okay. Well, I'm number one, area number one, which is basically most of Irvine, and then the numbers go south. So number 7 is further south and so forth. So I'm very familiar with the Irvine area, having done a lot of community service and different things in Irvine. The interesting thing about this last election, when I got elected for the first time, is that was still the situation where you needed to campaign and get votes, win whatever, the entire district, which is quite a challenge.
Yeah.
That's the last time they're going to do that. From now on, they're going to elect the voters will be in that number 1 or number 2, etc.
Oh, I see.
So,
Yeah, well, you have a slide here that talks about what it's like to be a senior and to campaign. Tell me how that went.
Well, it should have said what it's like to be a senior in COVID and campaign.
Oh, right.
Yeah, being a senior in campaigning is just fun. You have more time than the people who are working full time, so that's an advantage. Perhaps more networks you've accumulated over the period of your life and so forth. The COVID thing was the part that was really interesting, because I was a communication major at UCLA and then Cal State Northridge. So I like the one-on-one. I like to say I'm running for, and then have a conversation about that with one person, etc. You almost always get the voter that way because they know you and they don't necessarily know the others. So I really missed that. But we did a extreme social media campaign, which of course has come up and is less expensive than other kinds of things you do anyway. Plus lots of emails and phone calls, and and there were a few candidate forums that we did, and they were of course on Zoom. And once I got used to them, they felt okay too. I enjoyed them.
That's great. And Irvine is a very large community. I mean, you have lots of people that you have to deal with. And of course, it's all different ages, and it is growing so fast. I mean, it's a really big deal that you were elected. So congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah.
Now, in regards to what are some of the things that you will be doing, for the community, what is it that you are going to be doing?
Well, we of course have the meetings, and those are based on all of the needs of the district at that month and ongoing. And that's one of the first things. When I got the first notebook for the first meeting, it was like that thick.
Yeah.
I knew that, I knew that it would be that way. And I actually really like to do that sort of thing. I was a debater at one time. Not that I intend to debate all these things, I don't at all, but I like to read and analyze and see the evidence and all that sort of thing, So I actually like that kind of reading. But then in addition, will be supporting of the schools, of the two colleges especially. And I have some special interests. One of them is foster youth. And I just set up a scholarship, one at each college for foster youth. I'm very drawn to them, having had some special experiences at Mount Sac where I taught. And it's like they don't have anyone else. So I want to be part of that. But I love the Emeritus College. And the thing about community college that is so neat, that I love the most about it, is that it is very complex. And that's what makes it interesting. You might be talking about the Emeritus College one time and the mascot of Saddleback another time, the budget, of course, the programs, the events, raising money. But there's like over 90 programs at a community college, whether it's firefighters or welding or, it just makes it really interesting. I taught speech one, public speaking, in high school for a long time. And the speeches were kind of alike. Went to the mall, went to the football game, went before you got into the more serious speeches. There's so many different kinds of students. That's what I like the best about it.
Yeah, well, and also the other thing that is nice about junior college is you can actually help shape somebody's future and career, because like you said, there's firefighter and welding, and there's all these other types of things. And interestingly, I am also a communications major from San Diego State. And speech 101 that I took as a freshman was one of it changed my life. And I went into communications, and now here I am doing something that's full of communicating. So, you have that opportunity to shape somebody, which I think is, or give them the opportunities that they would not have had otherwise. So it's a great thing. Let me ask you something about your senior council. So obviously we have many seniors that live here in our community, and they're always looking for, I think, interesting things that are going on in the community that are specific to them. Of course, the Emeritus is certainly one of them. What is the Senior Council and the OC Senior Citizens Advisory? What are both of those?
Hey, I really like those debates. I've been an advocate for various things probably my whole life. And now I'm an advocate for seniors. That the Irvine City Council, or Senior Council, because that doesn't apply to yours, but the other one does. Anyway, the city council, Senior Council is made up of 7 people, one each from each 5 council members will appoint one each, and then there's 2 at large. And I've been the at-large one for 3 terms now, and I've been chair of it. And what we do is that we study problems with seniors, and we challenges, good things too, of course, but we just study the whole way of life, what's going on. And, there's so much more going on than people realize. People have a stereotype of a certain area, and, there's pockets, not pockets, there's areas of Irvine where there are people that are struggling financially, and maybe they bought their house 40 years ago and things have changed and so on and so forth. So, and there's people, the most important thing to me is the whole idea of isolation and loneliness.
Yeah.
And that you could be in the richest house with all kinds of money and have isolation and loneliness. So that's one of the things. And of course, that goes back to being a communication major. How do you combat that? What do you do about that? And then the Orange County one, which is the Senior Citizens Advisory Council, almost the same name. That's very interesting because it's made up of people from all over the county, of course. And each supervisor nominates some people. Each city nominates people, and then there are people that are another way through the council itself chooses some people. Okay. And so what happens with that is that we are the main voice to the Board of Supervisors.
Great.
And so when they, because they can't study all these issues, and these are real people working under real people working under a volunteer status. Mm-hmm. And each year we give priorities, and we are just finished working through those. Again, one of our priorities, incidentally, has to do with the interest that I have on the loneliness. It has to do with connection and technology, because some seniors, I should say, are reluctant to engage in the computer.
Right.
And yet, boy, what COVID has told us is that it can be a really good thing to be able to stay connected or get connected with people. Yeah. So that's one of the things. And one of the really things that I find fascinating is that, having been an educator and now a senior advocate, that there are so many similarities. And now we're starting to use in the senior advocacy the digital divide, which we've used in education for a long, long time. Because there is they even had an example of someone who told someone that they would lose their benefits if they didn't do a Zoom type of thing on their home that they lived in for Section 8 housing.
Yeah.
If you don't have a computer, you don't have one. Or if maybe you can't afford a phone. So anyway, there's all kinds of connectiveness things that we're working on, as well as meetings.
Well, that's great. And and I think that's very important, because our seniors population is growing. So yes, that's something that's going to have to be tackled sooner rather than later. Right. So excellent. Okay, real quick, let's just touch on Emeritus. The spring is here. Just go over that real quick, and then we'll have to close out.
Okay. Well, spring 21, I was looking at this again this morning. It's very important because the open entry registration ends on April 15th. Mm-hmm. And the classes themselves end May 26th. So we've only got 9 days or so here to go ahead and do that. Summer registrations are posted on March 22nd. Were posted, I should say. And that registration begins on April 27th. Yep. So these, one thing that interests me so much about it is it's open entry, open exit. So people can come in and out of the classes.
Right.
But they still get full. So
yeah, oh yeah, they do. And now, people have been staying home a little bit more than they usually would. So they'll get filled fast. So
right.
Yeah. Well, Carolyn, it was very nice to meet you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. It was very enjoyable.
All right. And we'll talk to you again, I'm sure.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. And we'll be right back after this.
Have you been struggling with swelling, aching legs, and varicose veins that keep you from being as active as you once were? Using the latest in advanced techniques such as VenaSeal, Golden Coast Dermatology Skin Cancer and Vein Center offers minimally invasive treatment with better outcomes and quicker recovery times. Dr. Tidwell is an expert in vein care and can help you get back to having healthier and active legs. Golden Coast Dermatology. Call today to schedule your appointment and get back on your feet.
Welcome back. Well, today I am here and would like to introduce you to Rabbi Joe Mendelson, who is now going to be the rabbi for Laguna Woods Reformed Temple. Well, Joe, you and I have talked offline here, and so you're not really a new face to everybody here in Laguna Woods, are you?
No, I've been here in the community since 2013. We've been a member, my wife and I have been members of Laguna Woods Reformed Temple since we got here, because we wanted to be part of the Jewish community.
Yeah.
So we've been involved in different things since then. Last year, I blew shofar for High Holy Days in front of the community center because of the pandemic. We wanted to offer that to the community. So we've been involved in different things.
So at what point did you decide that this was going to be a good move for you to be able to be the rabbi for the Reformed Temple?
Well, Rabbi came in, had health issues and could not continue. And I had agreed to cover for the synagogue. And in doing so, it was just like a natural fit. I had done it a few times before. So the group came to me and said, "Gee, would you be our permanent rabbi?" And it's our community. So we said yes. I said yes, but my wife agreed.
But your wife's like, well, I don't know. Because, it's going to be a little bit more work, right?
Yes. On one level, it's moving from the back to the front.
Right.
Yes, I'll have to prepare more in the way of sermons and making sure that they run smoothly from my end and coordinating with other people. I'll be doing some education programs that we'll be working out with the education department. I will be leading High Holy Day services, major thing, and I'll be leading the Passover Seders.
Okay. So everything stays the same for the most part. It's just now it's you instead of Rabbi King.
Yes. The major difference, I think, is that I live in the community. And
Right.
Rabbi King down in the San Diego. So and that means I'm visiting congregants and doing things that he physically just couldn't do during the week.
Right. Well, in going forward, are there some things that you might change?
I'm not looking for major changes. I mean, step one is getting used to my personality in front, the change of coordination. I've made a slight liturgical change already. And then I think it's going to be more of an organic growth rather than change. I find that change is a shock to the system. So I'd rather grow it. And I'm hoping the congregation will come back and grow a little bit.
Right.
We've had, during the pandemic, every organization lost membership.
Right.
And this is just too good a group to. So I'm hoping that my presence will hopefully bring a few people back that have left and maybe attract a few people that don't know who we are.
Well, exactly. I mean, you being a resident here will make a big difference, primarily because people know who you are. You're here. You can talk about the services. You can talk about the programs with the residents and invite them, which, like you said, would be easier to do because you are a resident as opposed to someone who doesn't live here. What are some things that you would like to let the residents know about you personally and just kind of your style?
Well, I'm not your black and white rabbi, as you can tell. I'm flexible. I'm here to help. We're all getting older. And one of the things that I feel is good is that I have that senior mentality. I understand what it is to be a senior and the physical challenges, mental, all of the different kind of challenges we face. So I'm hoping that will be a source of support to the community.
Yeah. What, coming out of the pandemic, which we certainly are making great stride and progress, and our numbers are low, and the community as a whole did such a good job. What are some things that you noticed everyone was going through?
Fear of going out was a major. So a lot of people had to scramble. How do I get my food? How do I get the things that will cause us to be together? How will I have my socialization? One of the things that was really great about what we did here in Laguna Woods was develop pods, groups of people that we felt comfortable being with. And we could gather and just have that socialization personally. And that carried a lot of us. How do we deal with our families? How do we communicate? And that, of course, Zoom was a great advantage for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the things rabbis noticed, and most clergy, is that the Zoom has allowed more people from across the country to participate in family tragedies and celebrations. So there's been an advantage in finding this new technology and making it work for us.
Exactly. And I think that's, we've said many times here, it's silver linings for us, even though we had a pandemic and unfortunately lost lives and people were affected adversely across, the nation and the world. However, we do have, like you said, Zoom, where and the technology has been really fantastic for us to include, just like we are today. I mean, it could have crippled Village Television, but instead it didn't. We were able to still do our interviews and bring forth all the information that was so needed during this time. So it's all great. So, well, congratulations to you. I'm glad that you are very friendly faced. So I'm sure people will be very happy to listen to what you have to say.
Thank you.
All right. I appreciate the information and good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
It's been a pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And we'll be right back after this.
Mother's Day is coming, and Diane's Hallmark is just the place to get Mom a gift that shows how much you care. Our women's department has gifts for that special someone, including clothing, jewelry, Vera Bradley, and Bagolini handbags, Crabtree and Evelyn, and many other great gifts for Mom. Don't forget that our religious department carries a great selection of Christian gifts and Bibles as well. Diane's Hallmark is a Gold Crown store. Come in and experience our personalized service. We're located on Alicia Parkway next to Hobby Lobby.
Welcome back. Our movie for today is Pretty in Pink, so a legendary, fun movie starring Molly Ringwald, and that is brought to you by Harvard Eye Associates. You can watch it today at 3 p.m. with subtitles and 6 p.m. without subtitles. And looking ahead, our Monday movie is an adorable movie called Babe, and that is about the cute little talking pig. And you can see that at 2 and 7, and we'll remind you again on Monday morning about that. Okay, let's take a look at our weather one last time. It is looking quite nice today. We are going to be about 76 or 75-ish, 52, and tomorrow 71, 52. Monday 69, 54, and if you are traveling in California this weekend, you are looking at some nice temperatures in northern and southern California. We are looking at the temperatures at the beaches in the 60s and Santa Barbara 72, San Diego 70, High Sierra 60, Big Bear 66, Mammoth 59, and the mountains all have overnights in the lows of 30s 27, and Palm Springs 95, 66. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you again here on Monday morning at 9 a.m. And of course, you could always rewatch our program at 12:30 and 5. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Did you know there are over 400,000 seniors in Orange County today? So where does a senior or family caregiver go for information and resources? You can turn to the Answers Guide, published by the Council on Aging Southern California. Answers is full of articles and resources to help you navigate the aging experience. You can pick up your free copy today at the clubhouse nearest you or at the Social Services Office. The Council on Aging, helping seniors remain healthy, connected, and protected.
Now there's a different way to buy a new Lexus. It's called CarDash, only available at southcountylexus.com. It's amazingly simple. Visit southcountylexus.com, select and reserve your new or pre-owned vehicle that comes with a 5-day love it or leave it guarantee. Apply for credit, calculate your payment, and even appraise your trade-in, all online. Once you arrive at the dealership, just pick up your car and drive home. Push a button, get a Lexus. South County Lexus, where different is amazing.